Well, I took the civil service exam and passed with flying colors, and they came out to my house to make sure I would go, the people who gave me the test. And I went. I got on the Pennsylvania Railroad train, had never been even to a train depot before, but rode the train to Washington. And I can't, my sister Flossie was with me. Thank goodness she had some skills because she had worked in the rubber companies in Akron, Ohio. By then she was trained on travel. And so she took me. And I can't even remember where we stayed, but she helped me find a house to stay with board and room. And I think my income was $35 a month. And the room, and I had 2 meals a day there. And it was probably $20 a month. So that was a pretty good price. She was a good cook, too. A Southern lady. So I was pretty happy with the job there. I worked at the Pentagon. Got into when the war ended, World War II ended. Let's see what happened. Oh, we had lots of parades, brought all the generals home from their places of war. So we'd get days off. It was kind of a neat time to be there because you got to see so many dignitaries like Eisenhower and all those people, like that. And my job was great. It was War Crimes Office, trying to figure out the prisons American men were in, and have to get interviews from usually hospitals where they were. And that was kind of sad. But it was a nice job to only get paid such a little bit. Can you even imagine? When I was in probably high school, but then as far as rationing goes, you had books, rationing books for food. You were only allowed so many cans of certain foods. And it was hard if you weren't from a farm. And my mom canned everything she could find. And we had a peach orchard and an apple orchard. But all of those things were rationed. About meat and things, we had plenty on the farm. So I can't tell you too much about those things. But shoes were another thing. Shoes were rationed. And you could maybe have 2 pairs of shoes a year. It was very few. And somewhere around my house, I have a ration book here. I don't think today's children could put up with that. In our family, my father thought you only needed 2 pairs of shoes a year, so only my brother Harold was in service, and he was in North Africa, Italy, and some island before that. I can't remember the island. Near Italy. I mean, he went to North Africa and then over to this island and then to Italy. And he got sent home after when he was in Italy when the war ended. So I got to come home on a little vacation from Washington, see my brother who had been, I don't know, 3 years, 2 years, probably 2 years. We came, saw all the generals when they came home from service, and got the day off. That was also very special. DC, that was a shock. public transportation, you know. It was a real shock. I had to find my own way, really. Flossie stayed with me for the first week or two, so I would at least be able to function, you know. She was always so nice, so sweet. Felt sorry for me stuck there. She was in Akron, Ohio. But I loved Washington. Letters every day. He wrote me a letter every day from Saipan. He was on Saipan. He was in the Navy. I met him when he was in Akron. I was visiting my sister in Akron, Ohio, and he worked in a gas station, and my girlfriend's boyfriend knew him, so we went on a double date together. So that was the beginning of that. But that was 1944. And then he went to decided he was going to the service, and he was only 17 at the point he went to the service. Wrote me a letter every day. He was only stationed in California for a little while. He had boot camp at Lake Erie area, and then went overseas. It was he went on a ship to go overseas because they didn't transport the servicemen by plane then. They didn't have that many planes. They all went on ships. And when he was waiting to leave for Saipan, he had an appendicitis operation. So he was laid up. Then it took 2 weeks to at least recover from appendicitis. So he was on the West Coast in a hospital for a couple weeks before he was allowed to go on the ship to go. And I didn't know where he was for a little while there because he couldn't write. And when he was in the hospital, he couldn't write. Then when he got to Saipan, he wrote all the time. Came back in 46. Can you imagine servicemen gone for years? For years. And like some of the soldiers gone for that many years with little children when they left. It's unfair. I suppose it doesn't go on today like it did during wartime, I hope. But anyhow, as soon as he came home, we decided to get married. So I quit my job in Washington, went back to Ohio, and we got married in Akron. And immediately started having kids. He was very sweet. He a hard worker. I mean, he had paper route when he was very small, maybe 10. And then he got a job in a gas station. And then he had another job that he got, I don't know what it was, when he went to the service from that one. So he always had a job. And his family, there were only 3 children. They weren't destitute. You know, I always thought if he could have just got really he graduated high school, but then the war came. I guess that was the bad part. And then we got married right away after he got home, so his education was airplane mechanics. That's all he got. Every time he would take classes when he was in the Air Force, and he'd do fine, do real good in school. Really smart and devoted to what he's doing. So he did very well in school, but with so many children, I couldn't work at that time either, and he just couldn't also go to college and work 2 jobs, So it was kind of hard. After he got out of the Navy, he got out of the Navy when the war ended. And then he got a job for, Goodyear Rubber Company it was. It's where they made maybe the big blimps, that big black building? Well, he got a job there, and it was with the Navy. So he was in the Navy again for a short time, reserves, they called it though, but he was full time. And and then finally, I think they were closing that down. And he had had a promotion or two, not nearly enough. But he had had a promotion. He decided, why don't we just stay in service? So we went to the Air Force. And it was fine. We had a great time in the Air Force. But he was gone more than I liked him to be gone.